What is going on, guys? This is Evil Jordan from the future. Comment down below if you figure out why I said that, but yeah, why I'm supposedly evil. But yeah, this is Jordan from the future. You're gonna see in a minute the rest of the actual video. But this is what, a week later, and if you haven't seen my previous video before this one I put out 3 days ago, failing my second year at uni, I had a lot of thinking time. I was finalizing all the edits in this video when I realized one thing, well, to be fair, two things that are far more important than any of the other bits I include in this video, and that is that the two things that you need to remember before going into first year, or the two things you need to remember before going to uni in the first, like in general, is like why you're going there in the first place. One of them is, you're gonna trying to meet new people, trying to expand your network, things like that. And two, by far the most important thing, most important reason as to why you go to university, is to find a job. You're literally going to uni to get a degree, to get the job that you want. So remember that. Those are the two most important things. I'm going to try and talk about it a bit more at the end of the video. You're going to see me again at the end, because the camera actually died and I didn't actually get to finish what I was going to say in the first place. So I'm going to come back at the end and explain some more stuff. But yeah, those are the two things. Everything else I say in this video is also quite important, but it's like secondary to the fact that you're here to get a job. So whether you're building your portfolio, learning new skills, getting your degree, meeting people that are going to help you achieve the goals you want, like remember that you're not there for the 4 years, you're there for the life afterwards. And with all that said, enjoy the video. What is going on, guys? This is obviously Jordan again in the perpetually messy bedroom for the third take today. Third take. I just realized that I was like the whole concise, specific, target audience idea that I was going for when I started the channel is just dead in the ground. Dead in the ground right now. I think I did my first video half an hour ago about what CV and cover letters. I did one just now, financial goals. And now I'm about to talk about what first year should know at university. Like, I have no idea where I'm going anymore. Literally running around doing random things whenever the comments call for it. But you know what it is? We've got to do what the community wants. That's the culture out here. So yeah, let's talk about what you should know before starting your first year. Shout out to Yash Singh, I think his name was. Sorry for butchering your name there, lad, but yeah, shout out to Yash. He asked me what I can find a comment actually. I probably should have done more my due diligence before starting this video and actually think about how I'm gonna approach it. But he basically said something along the lines of, I've got my phone up here. If you can make a video about things first year should know: when to look for second year accommodation, the discounts and deals for students, academic prizes for first year students, which clubs to join. I really should have done my due diligence and research before starting this video, but you know what, we'll get into it. I got all the tips and advice in the world. But yeah, before we start, I don't know why I'm still wearing this ultra professional gear. Let's get into something more student hand, which we'll do after this break from our sponsor. Yeah, by the way, we don't actually have a sponsor. But yeah, shout out again for the second week in a row. Shout out Prosper for these teas. I've got like 2 more somewhere in my room. I really need to find all my stuff before I go back to uni, but that's another video for another day. So without further distractions, let's talk specifically about what you should know going into your first year before you start uni, and I guess going into your second year, whatever. The first thing I should say is that by far the first thing that you have to know is like nothing. You don't actually have to know anything. I mean, props to all the guys that are watching, that are asking questions, that are doing their due diligence, trying to find out what they should do, where they should go, how they should do it. But fundamentally, university, like, obviously there are some people that know what they want to do before they start, and it's like, if you want to get into medicine, for example, do that route, go where you want to go, follow your own path. But for, I want to say, like 95% of people that go to university, a lot of us don't actually know what we want, and that's fundamentally why we're going to uni in the first place, to kind of buy time. You're buying 3 or 4 years to study, to build towards something that you think you want, that you're kind of interested in. But most of us don't have that die-hard, like, soul-crunching passion to go straight into economics or engineering or French, English, like whatever you're deciding to study. So fundamentally, yeah, it's always great to be prepared, but don't feel pressured to, know more than you already do. Like, you can go into first year just after year 13, call it a day, and like just learn on the way there. There's no need to, find out everything before you start. And in some ways, I think that is actually low-key detrimental, because you want to be open-minded, you want to experience it all for the first time and take it all in and see what you like, what you don't like. But you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. If you wanted to hear more in-depth thoughts of mine, you'd be listening to the podcast, the Untitled Survival Guide, instead of this video. But that's a plug for another minute mark in the video. To answer the specific questions, let me first address what Yash commented at the video. It's like, when should the second years look for accommodation? Now, that's widely disputed between first years, second years. Like, anyone you ask will typically give you a different answer. I think never, ever, ever listen to the estate agents that tell you, like, oh, you got to do it by January or you're going to run out of houses. Like, the fact of the matter is, you're not going to run out of houses. Maybe Bristol, to be fair, did run out of Bristol did run out of houses, but most universities aren't going to be running out of houses, especially if not for first years or second years even. Like, if you're applying in like March, you're still early enough. Like, people end up applying in during the summer. You know, people that are doing postgraduates degrees and people that have to resit exams or defer their exams till summer. People that maybe did a year abroad. So the fact of the matter is, like, irrespective of whether you start, early or not, there's almost certainly going to be more places out there anyway, because people apply all year round. Yes, granted, there's going to be a surge during the December, January window, but unless you know who you want to live with, like I made the decision in my first year just to live with people that I knew. It was like 8 of us, me and 7 other guys lived in a flat together, and that was not purely like we're all friends. I liked it, I love all of them, but it's like we kind of had that point. It's almost January, it's almost December. We've got to get it sorted, and you kind of rush into it. Like, I was lucky enough that I enjoyed my second year, and I know a lot of my friends in other flats also enjoyed who they were living with. But there's always a story out there. I know a couple of people who also didn't enjoy who they were living with, and I think that comes down to, again, trying to rush, trying to get it done early, and focusing, prioritizing on finding a place instead of enjoying yourself, finding friends, staying up to date with your work, and all these more pressing incidences that are just more important. I think if you're living in a abnormally large house, like if you want to be with 13 people, then yeah, you should probably try and apply earlier, sooner rather than later, because the bigger houses are going to be in shorter, not abundances, but there's going to be less, mansions out there for you and the whole gang to live and like chill together. But if you're, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, anything less than like 6, I would say that there's no rush. There's honestly no rush. Like, the uni will try and say like December, January, and most of your friends probably say December, January as well, because you want to get it done before your Jan exams, so you don't have to focus on that during your exams. You have to get out of the way early and then do with your work. But fundamentally, again, my point is that there's no deadline. You can wait, you can find people first, but whenever suits you. I will just focus more on enjoying uni, meeting the people first, and then saying, I want to live with you 4. Let's go and find a 5-man house. Or, I want to live with you 12. We should have applied 5 weeks ago, but it's fine. Because I saw a YouTube video that said I can wait. So, I mean, yeah, I would just say do your own research first. Obviously, if you know where you want to live, then try and get that done early so you don't end up losing the place. But otherwise, yeah, there's really no rush. The second question was discounts and deals for students. Now, this is it's quite a nuanced answer. Some unis, for example, campus unis, they have like all their shops and stuff on campus, so they'll already give you your specific deals because they know like it's a student shop, right? A city uni, like Bristol, for example, some places around the city had like Bristol discount. Like, I don't know, it's like some of the local shops were like, okay, you're a student, yeah, we'll give you a discount. But typically, like the most obvious advice I can give you is get uni days, get student beans. If you want to spend £13, then get NUS, but I wouldn't, like, you don't really get any more from NUS than you do from uni days or student beans or any of these other student cards out there. So definitely, I think uni days is a no-brainer. It's an app, you can get it. It's like, you can get it in 2 seconds. Just download the app, go on the website, you enter your uni email address or your school email address even. Like, some school kids have their own specific school email addresses. You can even use that to apply for uni days, and it's valid for a year. Every year you have to renew it until you graduate or until your uni address is invalid. But yeah, uni days is free. It has everything you need. Student beans is also free. They don't have as much. I don't think they're not as comprehensive as uni days and USR, but they have different ones. Like curries is often on the student beans, which you won't get anywhere else. So that's cool to have as well on the side. NUS again, if you want to spend £13, then yeah, go for it. But I don't think they offer much more than uni days. If anything, they probably have the exact same places on there. So it's up to you. Like, do your own research. If you turns out there's like one specific thing, like if you do all your shopping at Co-op, for example, I think Co-op and NUS are like have an exclusive deal. I don't think they're on any of the other platforms. But I mean, the point is that, yeah, just get, uni days, student beans, or NES if you want. Any of these three, if not all three, whatever variation you want. And then, yeah, student discounts galore, cheap deals for everyone, everywhere. Discounts and deals, yeah, I mean, fundamentally, that's it. As a student, you do also get access to a lot of exclusive things. I don't know all of them off the top of my head. It's by no means exhaustive, but you can get like 6 months of free Amazon Prime. Sorry, I should say. You get student bank accounts, of course, you get access to. And some of these bank accounts, like Santander, I'm aware, give you a rail card. I think Nationwide, NatWest, one of the ends, they give you a coach card instead. One place gives you like Pizza Express vouchers. It's like, look around, see what the best bank account is for you. I might even put on my own video, to be fair, like the best student bank accounts to put. Maybe it's a bit late, but I'll do it anyway. Yeah, let's see. I'll do that in a minute whenever I change shirt for the 4th time today. But yeah, find the best bank account. Get, the uni days, the student beans, all this stuff, and just do research. Like most places, if you just say, oh, do you do student discount? They'll be like, oh yeah, and then you can get money off even if you don't even know you're eligible for it anyway. So do all of that, and yeah, you'll be fine. Fundamentally, things are quite cheap anyway once you realize that student loans are somewhat free money, but that's for you to find out when you see your first overdraft receipt come through the door. Academic prizes for first year students. Now, Yash, my guy, who sent the comment in the first place, I know the comment, I don't know why I closed the tab, but I'm pretty sure you said you're from Bristol, you're going to Bristol, and in Bristol we have this thing called Bristol Plus Award, which combines, like, you have to do an online course. It's like a couple of hours, spread over 4 weeks. It's not like an hour in one day, but it's like, I think it's 8 hours, or 12 hours spread out over 4 weeks, to get your one part of the Bristol Plus Award. You also got to apply, do like a 1,000-word like report thing, do some volunteering, head to some events. Like, it's a very good award to get, to be fair. And even the award itself, if you take that aside and you say, oh, certificate validation, I don't care about that, like all the things that go into it that you need to do and achieve in order to be eligible for it are also very, very cool. It's like attending free intense workshops, for example, like a CV workshop. That's something that you got to do to be eligible to achieve the Bristol Plus Award, and that's something that many people, I recommend, should actually do, because you get an exhaustive look at what you have. You get to learn more things, you get to actually improve yourself, your CV, your cover letter, whatever. So that's something to look out for as well. Not many unis offer specific awards, but depending on what you want to study, I know engineering, for example, and I think law as well, maybe medicine. I don't know about medicine, but I know engineering and law, because they're both run by like accrediting bodies. For, let's say, engineering, for example, you can apply to be part of the like the IET or the the EEEI or whatever. All of these institutes. The IET is the one that I'm a member of myself, the Institute of Engineering Technology, and they run their own awards. So even irrespective of the university you go to, as long as I guess accredited by the IET, you're eligible for all of the IET resources, IET awards, and all these other things. That most of them are for, like, I guess, academics, people that are higher up in their career. But I'm sure there's a bunch of things available also for first years too. Bristol Plus, if you're going to Bristol, is of course eligible to anyone. And most universities that I know of, which isn't a lot to be fair, but they offer like highest achieving awards. So whichever first year in whatever faculty gets the highest grade, you're generally eligible for like the top achiever, the rising star, the top prospect, or they've all got different names, but it's like you do get an award for that. Typically, I can't give you specific answers because I don't actually know, but the best thing I can say is Google it. I mean, any uni, if you just type in, like, I'll do it now while the camera's rolling, like Bristol first year awards. There you go, the first tab is just saying like alumni academic achievement awards. You can go through it. Eligibility, be an undergrad in your first year of study, a home student, part-time. Yeah, so it's like, it's all here. If you do your own research, everything's on Google. Literally just type in like uni of whatever first year awards and you'll find infinite number of stuff. There's no need to go through it specifically for me, but yeah, it's there if you want it. Okay, now the final thing that Yash mentioned in the comment was which clubs to join, and then of course by clubs I'm pretty sure you're talking about societies. I mean, you can call it clubs as well, but in Bristol, and I think most unis, we refer to it as societies. So which societies, which SOCs, which clubs, which what did Cambridge call it? Cambridge and Oxford have got weird names for all their stuff. It's like, if you're going to Oxbridge, let me know down below in the comments what you call all your balls and stuff. It's like, damn it, all the names are gone from my head. I gotta ask Michael, see what Michael's saying. Shout out to Michael, episode 2 of the Undergraduate Survival Guide. This is the next minute mark of unnecessary plugs. But yeah, what society to join? To be honest, I could never give an answer to that. I think it's very specific per person. Like when you actually look at what we offer at Bristol, and I think Warwick are very, very good at this as well. Most unis will have like such a big, diverse range of societies and clubs to join. It's like I'm like I'm part of all the ones that I guess you should be part of as a generic student. Generic, like your core society, for example. I'm part of the engineering mathematics society. As a black person, I'm a member of the ACS, Afro Caribbean society as well. See people that I recognize. I'm part of like all the ones that I guess are perceivably make up my character or identity or whatever. Things that would make sense for me to join. I'm part of football, some of the sports and stuff. But there's such a ridiculous. There's a plethora of societies you can join. There's like cheese making society, chocolate, massage society, photography. I don't know, water bottle, dust remover spray. Like I'm pretty sure you can find society for literally anything at uni. And if they don't already exist, you can make your own anyway. So I'm not even going to begin to assume the ridiculous amount of identities that are out there. But honestly, like, there's something for everyone. I recommend the most important thing, actually, I should say, depending on your family's or your own financial situation, is look up how much they cost. Because I spoke to one of my... I feel like I'm just going to keep plugging the podcast now because it makes it makes the most sense. But in episode, it would have been, 13, I spoke to my friend Ash, and we're talking about a lot of the... being priced out of uni and how some of these societies are just really expensive. And if you're not prepared to drop that sort of money for something that you might not even do every week as advertised, then it's difficult to sign up to loads of things that you can't afford. So of course, find out first of all, again, going back to my last video, even having a budget and then finding out when it comes to societies how much they cost, not just for the year but also for each session. If you're doing a sport, for example, I don't know, football is basically free, it's just a kit. Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed that. But as you can tell, obviously the video cut out midway through a statement, and that was that. As I said, football clubs, sports, society, something to be blah, 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 blah. Evil Jordan can't speak very well today. Again, if you haven't already commented down below why you think I'm supposedly Evil Jordan, you can do that. Shout out to Prosper again for the black shirt, red writing, a little star. Prosper, put the link in the description below. Check that out. Not a sponsor, not an affiliation, but of course, for the culture, for the homies, support the gang. But yeah, some societies are free. A lot of them are paid for. I mean, to be fair, most of them are paid for, but it's the events and the things that they offer are sometimes free. So look up, your financial situation and try and understand whether you can even afford to pursue all the things that you want to really pursue. And as far as that goes, like, that answers all the questions that Rash sent in. So again, Rash, see what I mean? Evil Jordan. So shout out Yash for submitting that question. Yashing in the comments. I've seen you out there frequently. Thanks as well for your comment on my previous video about failing my second year uni. I appreciate hearing from everyone in the comments from that video. Jade. Who else is there? See, this is the thing. I said this last week and I'll say it again this week. I need to do more research before I start talking in my videos. Also ALBA, ALBA, I don't know what that stands for, bro. Sorry for butchering the name. But yeah, I mean, that's essentially it. That essentially answers all the questions that you submitted, Yash. I mean, obviously, if people have any more questions, don't be afraid to submit them down below in the comments or reach out to me on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. All the links are typically in the bio. I think one final thing, like one final remark, because obviously I addressed those questions and I came back into the beginning of the video to talk about jobs and like networking and meeting people and stuff like that and understand that uni is for the future. But I think one final thing that I think most first years ask, something that I even asked myself when I was starting, and it's like, how do you actually, like, because people always say before you start, you're going to find your dream partner there, your lifelong friends there, you're going to meet people that, you're going to have the time of your life, the so-called time of your life. And I think a lot of people kind of go into that like, will I really? Or not, maybe not such a negative sense, but like, what about uni kind of defines the lifelongness of the experience? And my honest belief, like having been there for 4, going on 5, will eventually be 7 years, is that uni is the one time, like you've probably seen around the internet, like at least once in your life, where it says like in your 20s you have like the most time, the most energy, but no money. In your 20s, 30s, you have the most money, the most energy, but the least time. And then it's like when you're, you know, old, retired and stuff, you have the most money, the most time, but no energy. And it's like, as much as I don't completely agree with that, it does make a lot of sense considering the typical, you know, I guess life, not lifespan, but, you know, typical activities that you do in life. Like when you're in uni, you have a lot of free time to some degree because it's flexible. You have a lot of energy because you're young, but you don't really have money, and you probably even have debt to even study in the first place. And then, you know, you go through working when you're at work all the time to make that money, and then when you retire, when you're older, you literally don't have energy because you're old. You've got a lot of well, older, should I say, depending on when you retire. But it's like, it makes sense following the typical trend of life, but there's no reason, I guess, to follow that. And I think at university, while it might seem like you have a lot of time, you haven't got much money, you have, you know, some energy here, some energy you don't. It's like there's no intrinsic need to follow the path. I mean, obviously by going to uni, you're following some sort of path. But even while you're there for those 4 years, you don't have to go to the library every day. You don't have to go out every Friday. You don't have to meet. I mean, even though I said, you know, it's important to meet people and to think they're there for a job, you don't actually have to do those things. And going there and understanding that what you actually want out of it, and if you don't know what you want, then kind of using the time you have to figure out what you want. Like, that's fundamentally what life is all about. Not just uni, not just work, not just school, not just days off in summer. Like, what do you actually enjoy? What actually makes you happy? And how are you going to put things in place so you can eventually reap the benefits of like that non-stop, constant. I just realized I'm not even in focus. You know, what actually makes you happy? What actually brings you that constant source of happiness and joy and pleasure? And while most people don't ever find it out, to be fair, if you can just get closer and closer, like, that's the ultimate goal, man. Like, if you're going to uni, you don't enjoy it. If you're looking up, like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, my parents want me to do medicine, I don't really want to do it, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you already have negative thoughts, like, no video, no video really is going to solve that, because fundamentally what it comes down to is, again, what brings you joy, what makes you happy. And if you don't have that thing right now, like, if you don't know what job you want to do, what are you kind of interested in? What do you think might make you happy in the future? Like, put the seeds in place so that one day, if you find out, you know what, maybe I do want to be a YouTuber, a podcaster, at least put the seeds in place, so when that day comes, or if that day comes, you can just like put a bit of effort in, and then suddenly it will sprout, as opposed to sitting in the chair, you know, doing nothing, thinking, oh, I don't really enjoy this, don't really enjoy that. And then when you eventually decide, you know what, now I want to be an astronaut, it's like, well, crap, I'm 45, I can't afford to go to uni, I haven't got the time to go to study and train and get qualifications and stuff like that. But keep your doors open is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. And yeah, if you don't know what you want to do, keep doors open, so when you eventually figure it out, you can use that door. And if you do know what you want to do, then, like, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't bother be derailed. Just do what you want to do. Enjoy yourself. Make the most of uni while you're there. As I said, like, no video is going to tell you how to do that. There's no one way to do you. There's no, like, right way to do it. Everyone, like, for the second time in this video, I'm going to reference my the podcast I've got. But across, like, all 18, 17 episodes I've done so far, well, 20 to be fair, but not all of them are out yet. But everyone's kind of said, like, I asked them, like, about the university experience, and everyone says, you know, I enjoyed this, I didn't enjoy that, you know, this was a problem, that was a challenge, this was successful, blah, blah, blah. But they're all different. Like, fundamentally, university is 4 years, 3 years of trial and error. And now it's your turn to to trial things out and make errors, and eventually, hopefully, by the time you graduate or by the time you get to your final year, you make the right choices and you start to enjoy yourself. But yeah, man, that's essentially it. Maybe I'm just a bit beaten up from having failed the year, but either way, I'm trying my best to provide value, give you the content you asked for, and yeah, that's all the wisdom I got for today. I could go on all day, to be honest, but that's not what YouTube's for. But either way, with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching this video. I very much appreciate having this audience, having a community. And I love hearing your guys' feedback, your comments and stuff, or the DMs I get. So feel free, again, drop some comments down below, reach out to me, let's have a chat, let's continue this down below in the comment section or wherever else. And yeah, until next time, that's been the boy Jordan. I should say, if you want more content outside of this, what I do on the YouTube channel, for the final time today, check out the podcast, the Undergraduate Survival Guide. On Instagram, it's @_UGSG1. The links are in the description. Good content there. And yeah, I'm going to stop plugging myself now. So go and enjoy your weekend. Peace.